VAC doesn't work. Or at least, not in Team Fortress 2. It doesn't even take a TF2 player to know that the game is filled with cheaters, but these aren't your day-to-day players who try to hide their cheats to avoid being caught. In fact, they're not even players at all. It's a whole bot invasion with copy and pasted names that blatantly cheat as soon as they join your casual lobby, and VAC doesn't seem to be doing much. So, what is VAC, and why doesn't it work? Compared to many other large multiplayer first-person shooter titles, the concept of Valve's original anti-cheat system hasn't changed much since its introduction. It's like any other anti-cheat that scans your computer for any cheating software that might be running in the background, but what separates VAC from everyone else is that it also relies on letting cheaters run free for a few days, in return that the cheaters don't know what cheat specifically got them banned. Now on paper, this sounds great. Cheaters are getting banned days after VAC initially marked them as a cheater, so the distributor of the cheats doesn't know if the aimbot or walls got their player banned from the game. Now this sounds like a genius idea until you add an automated system to summon an infinite amount of bots to do all the cheating work for you, making new accounts each time another gets banned. And now VAC looks like the worst anti-cheat you could possibly choose from.
Faggot shit.
It also doesn't help how all the cat hook code is made public online, and there still hasn't been any efforts to combat the cheats themselves, rather than restricting free-to-play accounts. VAC's own system of delayed bans has become its downfall in Team Fortress 2, and you can't really blame them. Now, cheating is inevitable, yes. It's the sole reason they give you a delayed ban instead of banning you outright when testing out a cheating feature to try and improve. But compared to other multiplayer Valve games, Team Fortress 2 really got the short end of the stick. While CSGO optimized their version of VAC anti-cheat with new machine learning algorithms called VACnet, Team Fortress 2 sat in the corner only to have their localization files touched for the 500th time.
We have a 2v2 competitive mode that's pretty popular and we deployed to that. Conviction rate in that mode was like 99% for a while. It was great. Cheaters didn't get the memo that we were doing it, and players were super happy, and we were just busting cheaters left and right. It felt so good.
So what is VAC good for then? Well, it's an anti-cheat, isn't it? I never said that it's just there for decoration. It may not look like it, but it has put in the work in some rare scenarios.
With the AWP, he's out in the Russian wilderness just sniping.
Did Emilio just get VAC banned?
What?
Granted, it still doesn't prevent people from using Lamau box. So it works sometimes. And while it may not be a top-of-the-line anti-cheat, it's certainly not invasive as the other anti-cheats that you'll encounter for different games. See, unlike other anti-cheats that scan and send all your files, and some that run as soon as you turn on your computer without even running the game it is associated with, VAC anti-cheat doesn't do any of that. So there's a little respect to give to Valve in terms of privacy. While I'm sure many players probably couldn't care less about what anti-cheats are scanning from their computer, Valve has kept their promise of what VAC originally was, just as how it is described from their website. The VAC system reliably detects cheats using their cheat signatures. Any third-party modifications to a game designed to give one player an advantage over another is classified as a cheat or hack and will trigger a VAC ban. This includes modifications to a game core's executable files and dynamic link libraries. So the truth is, VAC was never meant to handle a bot invasion. Its main use from whenever it was introduced was to throw out their old buggy anti-cheat, Punk Buster, and introduce something more discreet that small-time cheat developers would struggle with trying to work around. But since 2018's major bot invasion, VAC just wasn't built for this kind of scenario, and I really can't come up with another game that has this type of problem. Why this happens to a game that belongs to a multi-billion-dollar company is beyond me. But hey, at the end of the day, I'm just a YouTuber complaining about people who actually run companies and pays employees. So what is the solution here? Well, if it was easy as make VAC better, then the team would have probably done so by now. The developers of Team Fortress 2 can only adjust what permissions free-to-play players have in comparison to players with premium. Therefore, Team Fortress 2 got their anti-bot, or if we're being realistic, the anti-free-to-play update. I really have to go against the popular opinion and say that it was a good choice, as the programmers of the game have no control over VAC, so they did what they could to minimize what bots can actually do, like text or voice chat spamming some really high tones into your ear. Now, if there's any place to focus on, It's the Linux build of Team Fortress 2, or to be specific, the anti-cheat that comes along with that build. Valve wants Linux players to be able to cross-play with PC players, but because of how they're different operating systems, the way VAC anti-cheat operates is different, and to be honest, less effective. The majority of cat hook bots that join your game run through some GitHub code that is copy-pasted onto the Linux operating system, so to put everything into smaller terms, VAC isn't as effective on Linux as it is on Windows operating systems, and TF2 programmers did what they could. Now, I've tried to come up with a few solutions on how to solve this whole bot issue and how the TF2 dev team could make life easier, like cooldowns on people who get kicked, but because of how bots can use a vote kick system, and a team of 5 bots can easily kick any legit players off, that kinda disqualifies that as an option. So after thinking some more, I have what are probably the realest solutions that Valve could do from this point forward. Number 1. Update VAC's anti-cheat to run better on Linux systems. Valve has always been working on improving Linux's compatibility to be able to play the latest games and titles that were meant for Windows PCs, an example being TF2, as well as building their own Linux-based operating system. If they are this invested into Linux, then I believe the next great step could be improving their anti-cheat, or using an entirely different anti-cheat for Linux-based systems. I seriously doubt all of this as an option though. Second option I've come up with is that paid premium accounts with their phone numbers connected to Steam will get their own servers to play in, acting as some sort of paywall in return that you get queued up for servers where players have done the same. Meanwhile, free-to-play accounts will be queued up with other free-to-play accounts, which means they'll likely take the big hit in terms of cheaters, but they should be allowed to use the vote kick system to clean those lobbies if need be. Another addition to this option is that if a premium and free-to-play player wants to queue up together in a party, it will default you to join a free-to-play server, but because of how certain game modes are more dead compared to others, and how this may result in longer queue times, Valve may also choose not to do this option. This whole idea is similar to the trust factor system that's been implemented into CSGO, but they kind of get away with it since they get hundreds of thousands of players in their game every day. So yeah, that's kind of the rundown on why VAC doesn't really work in Team Fortress 2, and why it's near useless for the current cheating situation. I hope the developers of the VAC anti-cheat system start ramping up their game. I personally wouldn't mind VAC scanning my PC for cheats as long as it doesn't tank my performance in-game, and I hope we get a solution to this whole ordeal soon enough. Anyways, if you liked the video, a like would be appreciated, and I'm trying to hit 10k subs as my next goal, so if you haven't subscribed already, you already know what to do, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.